Just a couple things to mention this week. Productive on my tractor robot. I've been trying to get my IBT2 uh, better designed, and by better designed, I mean it, this is a picture of the IBT. You can see that, right, Bob?
Oh yeah.
So these 8 pins, two of the pins are enable pins, R dash or underscore EN and L underscore EN. And what's sitting on my tractor at this very moment is these are just um, linked to a 5-volt supply, so they're always high, which means they're always enabled, which is good. And I have the PWM lines, coming from the Teensy, and so that programmatically is how I control the motor controller.
Okay.
In my situation, when I was testing my PID for my steering motor, I had the motor go hard right and hard left. And what would happen is these chips would get hot, and there is circuitry inside this that says basically it protects the circuitry and says, hey, if it gets too hot, shut off.
Oh.
And in the electronic language, it would say it latched, meaning it held that position.
Oh.
And the only way I could then get control over this motor controller again is to turn everything off, um, which would then unlatch the signal. So have been working on a design to try to get this under Teensy control, because I could use the Teensy to drive these pins high. Also, these two pins, R underscore IS and L underscore IS, it says side current alarm output. So basically, it's a crude meter or a way to assess how many amps are being drawn by the motor. So I was mucking around with that and trying to see if Claude um, would would help me design a board, and it actually tried. And I'm not terribly familiar with. I think you pronounce this KiCad, KICAD. Um, but this was an attempt to take a proto board, which is this size. So
Hmm.
basically an inch and a half by 2 inches or so, and you can count the number of pins, and trying to get it to help me design this, a proto board.
Okay.
So that's where I'm at the moment, is trying to design a proto board that I could use to hook up the 8 pins to the IBT, hook up whatever that is, 7 pins to the Teensy, and have what are um, pull-ups for the enable pins, and then in here for these IS lines, there would be some resistors and capacitors. Now you can't make it out very well because the design that I got back from Claude was, although electronically it might be correct, it's still, I'm not happy with this design.
Yeah.
So this
Your
this
your pull-ups, are those like 1K or what?
it was suggesting 10K resistors
Oh, okay.
on that. And I mean, if I go back to again, I'm in my tractor Obsidian Vault in my design folder in the tractor folder, and I've got these files for IBT2. It's given me, you know, a guide to build this, which is helpful and useful, but it's not perfect.
Oh,
So it's sort of an interesting exercise in trying to use Claude to build this.
so you're using Claude on your machine and it's reflected in GitHub on in the vault?
Correct.
Okay.
It has Claude has uploaded and pushed these these two files are
Oh,
um, KiCad files that are. I mean, if I click on them, they're not going to render in here, but I mean, they look like JSON, but
okay.
um, I mean, these two files were created by Claude with me trying to specify how this should be laid out.
Okay.
It clunky, not elegant, a lot of manual intervention, but it's interesting and I
Yeah,
think um, I think helpful.
good.
So that's what I've been working on mostly.
Okay.
I also posted this to Slack, as you know, which was again an attempt to use Claude to create um, something that I saw that was interesting that I thought I could use. It's not robotics related; it's electronics related, but
Hmm.
not so much electronics. But there's a repository for the output of that, which is what well, the name that we settled on was a Deer Defense Project, which is the, as the Claude document says, it's meant to be a water gun that detects deers and shoots them with water. Um, this was sort of interesting. It was the first time that I had used AI to create an image. And although it's, you know, you can't implement from a picture, but it was interesting to see what it
Yeah,
did.
it is.
I also I mean, this was the prompt that I gave it just so you could see
Yeah.
what it produced based on what I told it. Um, it was inspired by this guy who did
Yep.
something similar for pigeons, which I thought was interesting. And I mean that at this project it didn't have many details. It had some. It talked about what hardware he used and what software he was using.
Hmm.
Um, and so all of this was sort of created after having a little bit to go on, which was neat. These are the water pistols that I settled on. They're electric and uh, they'll have light and noise. So
Wow.
hopefully the combination of light, noise, and water will keep the deer from eating my tomato plants.
As my psychology professor said, give them a significant emotional event.
Yeah, well, I don't. They might just be bored with it. You know, they'll say we live in the rain, so a little bit of water gun isn't gonna bother them, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit about what's going on in my world.
Hmm.
How do I get back
Okay.
to screen sharing? There it is. Questions on any of that?
Um, no, I think I can always go back to the video and dwell on it and then come up with something maybe. But anyway, from my side, I got my Obsidian Vault up on my GitHub page, and I've tried
Do you want to share
syncing.
your screen?
Oh, um, share. Okay, there. Yep, share. Okay, now I'll go up to GitHub. Okay, can you see that then?
Yes, you should make the screen maximize the screen size, but I can see it.
Okay.
You can click the square box in the top right corner.
Oh, sure. Um, so the name is going to be this nanobot, and let's see. Come on. These are the only files I have in there right now. And there's the vault. And I had conflicting names for the vault. I had like two different ones. So it took me through how to convert everything over into one or one name. Let's see. Let's see if I can get to it. Okay. So there was all the conversions it was doing. I had one vault called my robotics vault. That was too ambiguous, and I'm diversifying too much, so I have to get back and stay focused just on nanobot, not the whole world. And so it converted all those. But as I go through and look at everything that's on there, it's all of this has to be better organized. And then I was thinking of something like what you had done and what a chat recently told me was have certain categories. Like one directory would be like AI chats. Another one would be maybe just for Jeff's videos, or maybe a directory for videos. Then subdirectory would be like Jeff's 33 or whatever. Then, of course, I have to have a directory for hardware for Nanobot. So I just might spend some time going back and try and do that. The other thing I was tried doing was synchronizing the the Pi, the Nano, and my laptop, and I forget how to get there. But I was able to sync the Pi to the laptop and conversely. But I'm having a problem with the Nano in that it does not have a browser. So when SyncThen says go to your machine's browser, it's not there. So, and I wanted to avoid putting a browser on it. I wanted to keep it as lean as possible. So it led me down all kinds of holes, rabbit holes, like doing SSH tunnel into the Nano and stuff like that. But I think what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and put a browser on the Nano and do it that way. The other problem I found was that I duplicated the sync link, so it showed that up, and I'm cleaning that up, so I only have one link. But so sync, then you swap ID numbers, like you take the ID number off your laptop and put it in the Pi, and that's where I start getting confused because then I think, well, I have to put where do I put that Pi ID? Do I put it back on the Lenovo or
When you say the Pi ID, tell me a little bit more. But before you do, let me just
Oh,
uh, share
yeah,
my
the way you're syncing.
uh, well, so this is my main GitHub user ID, and this is one.
Okay, I can't see it.
Oh, sorry, I need to. It says stop share. Let me try again. Is that any better? It says I am screen sharing. Can you see it?
Nope, I still got my stupid. Oh, wait a minute, I got to get out of that window. Okay, now, yep, now I can see you.
So I'm on GitHub.
Yep.
Um, if I go over to settings, I guess it's in password and authentication. No, it's not there. There is um, under developer settings, there's something called a personal access token.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I took at first I used the fine grain one.
yeah, I've never used the fine grain. I've always
Oh,
been instructed not to use those. Um,
use the classic.
well, again, I would follow whatever AI is telling you, but
Okay.
creating these tokens was the way to be able to authenticate with GitHub and be able to get the push working even using, you know, uh, a non-graphical interface. So like if you put it into your Jetson Nano.
Okay.
So authenticating using the web interface is one way to authenticate. Authenticating using a personal access token is another way to authenticate.
Okay.
Um, as it says here, personal access tokens can be used instead of passwords for
Hmm.
Git over. Um, so that
Okay.
what was what I wanted to share with you. The other, again, the for this thing that's not really a project, I have a folder for code and a folder for all my notes. And I don't, I'm not crazy about the word vault, but it's just basically notes.
Okay.
And there I have two folders, one for tasks and one for notes for each of the physical things that I've got to deal with. And so that was how I organized, you know, that one. And again, it's not perfect, and I'm sure you can use whatever is good for you, but
Okay.
for
So
the
going back to your stages, um, the folders previous to this one, um, yeah, like let's start with like um, 01 plan.
Mhm.
And how do you separate? You created two folders within that, one for the notes and then one for the code.
Well, this folder are
Yep.
notes. This folder is code.
Oh, okay. So that's outside of the vault or outside of the Obsidian folder.
Correct.
Oh, okay. But it's got the same numbering sequence or identification sequence?
For code, it doesn't have any numbering sequence at the moment.
Oh,
It's just a raw folder.
okay.
But this would be, production code that would run on this thing called an Orange Pi 5.
Yeah.
And then in the vault, it's just, again, it's focused entirely on the task of creating this project.
Okay.
So it's not like a folder of notes for everything I've ever encountered. It's just notes specifically around this project.
Okay. And they're divided by plan, design, and et cetera, et cetera. Okay.
Yeah, those are the only two that I have at the moment is plan and design. And in design, there's subfolders for each of the physical
Okay.
things that I need to design and get working.
Oh, okay.
But again, that's just the way
Yeah.
that feels logical for me. You can do whatever is logical for you, but I just thought I would
So it's
walk
two
back through that.
two folders in GitHub, one for your documentation and another one for your code.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. And then in your code, oh, I see you got the Claude MD file.
Well, that's not in code. That's at the highest level.
Oh,
The
okay.
the README and the Claude is at the highest level,
Oh, okay. Yeah, they
but
aren't indented. Okay.
but the README is just a stub to point to the Claude because really the Claude file is where all where I've got all my detail
Oh, okay.
because it felt redundant to me to have a lot of detail in the README when I knew that Claude needed it in order to, you know, um,
Oh,
read it for context.
so all of this I'm seeing, the deer fence system,
It's in
project
this,
overview, and all that. That's all in the Claude MD.
right?
Oh, okay. I didn't realize you could be so have so much stuff in there. But-
Yeah, I'll just again put the link out.
So when you created the Claude MD, that was back on your Claude code, and then you pushed it, or can you
Hmm.
modify the Claude MD in GitHub?
Both. So I just modified it and had Claude push it, but you can edit. I mean, you can edit this MD file. Um, although I don't
Oh,
do it
okay.
because then it gets then I've got to pull it down before I
Oh,
make
sure.
any other changes because
Okay.
this becomes an updated master if I start editing inside of GitHub.
Yeah. So, so what does that look like down at Claude Code if you're going to modify it? You pull it from GitHub into Claude Code, and then you modify it.
Um, I don't, I haven't on this particular one, I didn't do much editing of this individually. If if I found something like this link for um, Amazon, I
Yeah.
would say, Claude, update the link and push a new version of the MD.
Oh, okay.
I would paste in the link and then I would say, update the .md file and push it, and it would do that.
Oh, okay.
So I verbalized the change. It made the change and updated the the .md file.
Oh, okay.
Now, if I wanted to, um, I mean, I'll just download the raw file. Uh, I would open it. I use the editor called Sublime, or you could open it in another one called VS Code.
Okay.
This is VS Code.
Yeah.
I could just as easily have updated it myself, but then I would have to save it and push it myself.
Okay. You have to save and then push. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like the other way better.
Well, again, it's just, I mean, I'm sure I'm using more tokens than I should, and I got kicked out yesterday and had to wait 3 hours, but
Oh,
um, that I that hasn't happened to me too much.
okay. Interesting.
While, yep, that's that's what's going on here.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Well, I think before I go too much further, I got to clean up some of my files because I haven't been very disciplined. I just when chat comes back with a recommendation, I do it right away, but I begin to realize it deviates from like 3 hours ago. So I think the first thing I'll do is clean up that Claude MD file, and then I've got some other directories called Nanobot that I really shouldn't have. So I got to clean those up, and then reorganize. Maybe even just clean out that Obsidian folder completely and start over and just stay focused on Nanobot and not all the other stuff.
Do you have a
So,
picture of your electronics board? And the reason
um,
I'm asking is I was just going to think through how many physical components you have on your electronics board.
I don't have a picture on this machine. I have it over in my. I'll have to open up the iPad.
No, don't worry about it then.
Okay.
Have you pushed any of those up to your
No,
GitHub?
nope. Not, that's a good idea. I'll do that. I I did list the hardware, the Raspberry Pi 5 spec sheet, the Nano spec sheet, and I mentioned the specs on the Lenovo, but it's just kind of a static thing that's up there. I haven't done anything with it.
Well, I'm just brainstorming here with you, Bob, but um, for what it's worth, um, let's see if we can how this works out. If this is a mess, then I won't do it. But so if I were thinking about it, and I'll
Yeah, that
send,
would be. Yep. Oh, points too, Claude. Okay.
Wouldn't have that. I wouldn't have that. I probably wouldn't have.
Oh, yeah, there you go. All the images. And the reference, that would be all the specs from the hardware.
Well, inside of design for me
Oh, yep.
is, let's see if I can, what I can, how much trouble I can get into here. Um, trying to think of an easy way to do this. Let's do this.
Okay. And then the pie and camera.
What's that stepper motor thing, that PC98?
MMD 10A.
What is that?
It's a dual channel motor controller. And then you got the servo board.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of as the
Yeah.
servo board. Is this the model that you have?
Yep.
This,
Yeah, it is. There are two of them. Oh,
I would have, um, and in this folder have one, two, three, four, five folders, and then it would be, you know, et cetera, et cetera.
yeah.
Anything that's not code.
Yep.
And in your, let's see, and then I would have,
Yeah. That's
Yeah, I've got all this other stuff that you wouldn't need.
Hmm.
It would be something like this.
Yep. Okay.
And
Oh, I
so
get it. Yep.
thing like you've got Jeff videos,
Yeah. Oh, down in reference.
and then because these are so your code lives in these two folders
Okay.
based on the platform that it's running on.
Yeah.
And this is all for your notes.
Oh, okay.
And this is for your to-do list.
Okay.
And this is what you use to give context to Claude.
Right.
And this is something that GitHub gives you, but it's just a couple sentences and it points to Claude.
Yeah. Okay. That's a heck of a lot cleaner than what I have right now.
And again, what works for you might not be this. It's just
It's a good starting point.
it's something to consider. And I'll just post it here to your so it's in Slack under direct messages.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
Yeah. Very good. Well, thank you very much.
Anything else for the recording?
No, I think that'll do it.